In today's video, we're going to take a look at the new Pixel 5a 5G. First off, I want to thank Google for sending this over to review on the channel. Hashtag gift from Google. I'll leave a link in the description of the video with current pricing and more information. To me, this is a direct replacement for the 4a 5G, and this one's $50 less at $449. The downside is you only get one color with this one, which is called mostly black. Now there is just a really small hint of green to the back of this, but to be honest, if you don't have the 4a 5G right next to it, it looks like it's, well, mostly black in person. And I know a lot of people out there are saying this is basically the same as the 4a 5G, but from what I understand, not a lot of people actually bought that phone. Most people bought the smaller 4a or even the Pixel 5. To me, I feel like the Pixel 5a is a better value than the Pixel 5. I mean, unless slow wireless charging is really important to you, a 90 Hz refresh rate, Gorilla Glass 6 versus Gorilla Glass 3 on this one. To me, those really aren't that important. You also get IP68 on the Pixel 5, where only IP67 on this one. You also get 8 GB of RAM on the Pixel 5 versus 6 GB on the Pixel 5a. So if you would compare this phone to the Pixel 5, obviously there's some trade-offs there. There's really no reason to compare this to the Pixel 4a 5G because they're basically the same phone. But if a headphone jack is important to you, you don't get that with the regular Pixel 5. So having said all of that, yes, I really like this phone. But to me, we've got to talk about something that could potentially be a problem later on down the road. I don't know, maybe this is pretty common with Pixel phones. But here's some quick specs since I forgot to mention them earlier. You're going to get a 6.3-inch Full HD OLED display on the Pixel 5a. So it's a little bit bigger than the Pixel 4a 5G and 4a, not to mention the Pixel 5. You also get 6 GB of RAM with 128 GB storage. Not only that, you get a pretty large battery with this, 4,680 milliamp hours. And then obviously you're going to get 5G with this one, where you didn't get that with the regular 4A. Plus you get that secondary speaker in the earpiece, which I think all phones should be doing by now. Nice thing is you're going to get the same exact cameras as on the regular Pixel 5. Now at the bottom of the cameras, they took away a sensor there. Personally, I would think it would be cheaper to keep it exactly the same, but I don't know. So overall build quality, just as good as the Pixel 4a and 4a 5G. And then of course you get that nice fingerprint scanner there on the back. Definitely one of the most reliable that you're gonna get on a cell phone, even in 2021. Okay, so they're saying save battery with dark theme. I know a lot of people have said you can save battery life by using dark theme. I've just never actually tested it to see if it's true. Okay, so it looks like they've got a greenish wallpaper there to match the back. Not a bad idea. Funny thing is, I tried to get my wife to upgrade from her Pixel 3a XL sometime last year, and yeah, she didn't want to. Of course, with Pixel phones, software is going to be usually super smooth. I know some people are going to say, oh, that's only a 60 Hz screen. You're really not going to notice much of a difference with a 60 Hz versus 90 on the Pixel 5. But hey, I know everyone's a little bit different about that. And yeah, we're definitely going to have to check out the Pixel 6. Now up in the notification shade, you're going to get most of your basic stuff: flashlight, auto rotate, battery saver, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, do not disturb, airplane mode, night light, screen record, and nearby share. It's currently on Android 11, June 5th security patch. But I can tell already, just first impressions, it's really going to be tough to beat this phone at this price point. In case you're not a big fan of gesture navigation, luckily you can still switch it to 3-button navigation. Here's a quick size comparison of the Pixel 4a and the Pixel 4a 5G. Now, maybe some of you that have this phone already know this, but so far I've only heard one other YouTuber, and he's got a pretty large following, who just hinted at it, but wasn't sure what it was exactly. Well, here's what I noticed. So shooting photos with just the regular camera mode, everything works just fine. But once you switch it over to portrait, it'll actually take a while to process. I wasn't even using this phone that long, and man, on the back of this, it gets super hot. And I'm not exaggerating, I'm talking like super hot to where you almost gotta put the phone down. It even had a message pop up about the phone getting too hot and had to shut some stuff down. I just know if you're gonna take multiple photos in portrait mode and in night sight, I mean, this thing is like almost on fire. The other video I saw, they were talking about how hot the phone phone got when they were using Google Maps. So to me, that tells me it's not just the camera. I don't know, maybe this phone just gets super hot and you gotta let it rest a little while, but I've never had a phone get this hot. Maybe they can fix this in a software update, but it's definitely something that's a little concerning to me. Like I said, I've never had a phone get this hot before, especially a brand new phone right out of the box. I don't know, maybe I was just lucky and got one of the hot ones. Now, would I say don't buy this phone because it gets too hot? Actually, no, I wouldn't say that, because once it does process the photos, I'm telling you, there's not gonna be too many phones that will beat this, especially in portrait mode. I don't know if it's software or hardware. Now, just keep in mind, even though this is one of the best cameras out there you're gonna get, even better than some of the more expensive phones out there, it does take a little bit longer to process once you take the photos. Here's a few samples of photos and video just to give you an idea of what to expect, but seriously, you don't even have to look at these samples. You're not gonna find a much better camera than what's on this one. Now, one thing I wasn't expecting when I took these photos, I don't know, I guess just don't take a lot of portraits in a row, just use the regular camera. Now, the weakest part is probably the selfie camera for video. It just doesn't seem quite as good as the rear facing camera. Not that it's bad, it's just not as good as the rear. The earpiece also has a secondary speaker. Let's do a quick test just so you can see what it sounds like. Okay, so yeah, it's definitely not gonna be the loudest speakers out there, but I think overall it definitely gets the job done. Good thing is this phone is actually pretty decent with gaming. I know during my testing, I tested out PUBG Mobile and Asphalt 9. The graphics actually look nice and crisp. Obviously, you don't wanna max out the settings or anything like that, but high frame rates, HD graphics, pretty much what you would expect from a phone like this. Now, I'll have to test it out a little more as far as performance goes, but overall, I definitely like what I'm seeing. Overall, I think my first impressions of this phone are, yeah, it's a pretty good phone, but I feel like they could do something about it heating up so quickly. Gotta do a lot of processing for photos, and they look really good, but I don't know, I just feel like they could do something to fix that. So definitely look for some other videos I'll be doing comparing this to other phones. I feel like you definitely get a lot for your money with the Google Pixel 5a, but besides it being super hot, this is definitely going to be one of the best budget phones you can buy. Actually, I think that's considered mid-range now, but you get the idea. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.